Kagurabachi chapter 113 is here, and we are finally getting the Seitei War flashback. I'm all here for it. Let's just get right to it. The chapter begins with the text, February 18. A large island suddenly appears in the coastal waters near southeast Japan. So there's no tweaking of the story. A random island really just did appear, seemingly out of nowhere. The text goes on to give us lore, and it says between the island and Honshu is an island called Irishima, and Irishima is part of the Chiba prefecture. And during a record-breaking earthquake that happened 34 hours prior, unidentified mineral ore was exposed on Irishima's surface, the small island. This ore is highly reactive to spirit energy and produces astronomical power bursts when in contact with spirit energy. And it was immediately designed as Japan's most critical resource, and we know this is Seitei. I don't have to say it. Then we fast forward to 2 years later in the flashback, still in the flashback, and we have this group that are trying to sell Seitei to another sorcerer. And it is only a small piece of Seitei, but he says it's powerful enough to destroy an entire city if you can wield it properly, of course. The sorcerer that's trying to buy the Seitei has his head stitched up. But the thing is, even the government haven't figured out how to properly wield the Seitei. And they say that Irishima is an uninhabited island, that there's nobody there. But the stitched up sorcerer says that that's wrong. There are people there, there were people there. And it's probably because of the people that live on that island that it is difficult for the government to mine this special ore. And he says these guys are assassins sent by Shokoku. So only the stitched up sorcerer in this room seems to know that there are people that also come from Shokoku, and there were people on Irishima. So it's not public information. Even the government is withholding this. So it seems that Seitei didn't come from Shokoku, and it is instead from Irishima, but the people of Shokoku can use the Seitei. Unless maybe it is also in Shokoku, but also in Irishima. I mean, I need more. I need to know what the hell is going on. And we get to see this boat that cannot go through any further through the water. I think this is showing us that even no one can go to Shokoku because it's protected by a force field, an invisible force field. And the sorcerer says that the force field is large enough to cover a couple of cities, and it's so strong that nobody's been able to breach it, so it's not humanly possible. Perhaps it's the work of the Seitei, or maybe they're just built like that. Makes you question how Rokuhira was able to use it even though he's not from Shokoku. The stitched up sorcerer, who is just an exposition dump at this point, is telling us that the Shokoku Islanders are probably preparing for war. So hey, I hope we get to see the actual war, the Seitei war. Let's go. And we see young Shiba. We see Shiba, he's like, you done talking? I mean, he wasn't there before, and I know he can teleport, so we just see a cigarette and all of a sudden he's there. It's like, you done talking? This guy likes to farm, bro. Of course they don't know who the fuck this is, and they all surround him with their blades. So he teleports to the sky and teleports back down, and he just leaves them in the sky and teleports back down. So they're all just gonna fall and plummet to their deaths. So Shiba confronts the stitched up sorcerer, and the sorcerer recognizes him. He's like, you must be Togo Shiba, Mr. Worldwide here. And he's like, I know I can't beat you. The Soga clan's guardian. Oh my god, wait. So Shiba is the guardian for the Soga clan. That's Akamura's Soga, right? Oh, okay, let's go. That's nice. I wonder if this leads anywhere. We'll see. Shiba says it's their job to prevent the worst case scenario, which is war against Shokoku. And Shiba gets a call from what I'm assuming is higher ups, and they don't want Shiba to give the Seitei to a certain someone who is quote unquote too young. Of course it's Rokuhira. I don't have to beat around the bush so much. So they want to take it to trusted veteran swordsmiths and scientists, but Shiba's like, they haven't gotten anywhere in 2 years. So Shiba tells him, hey, understood, I just need to make a quick stop and then I'll head back. So of course he says, I'm taking this to show him after the calls ended, and we know who him is. So we cut over to a swordsmith who is none other than Rokuhira Konoshige. We see a double page spread of young Rokuhira, and it says Seitei War Arc, and that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, we're getting a Seitei War arc after this, and this is just perfect. After part 1 just ended, we're getting straight into the Seitei War flashback. This is good. This is what I want to see. Most of the truth of the story, everything's going to be revealed in this flashback, hopefully, and I cannot wait. So Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, really helps out, and I hope I see you next time. Peace.